Hello student friends. In this video I am going to discuss about Hobbes' views on sovereignty. The sovereign is created by the contract. He must have absolute power. The sovereign has unlimited power and unfettered discretion. Hobbes says every order of the ruler, however contrary to the law of God or nature, must be accepted because it is his order as perfectly lawful and just. The subjects have no right to resist or interfere with the order of the sovereign. Analyzing the powers of sovereign, Hobbes enumerates them as follows. First, the sovereign has the unquestioned right to receive obedience from the subjects. The subjects cannot transfer their loyalty to any other person without the permission of the sovereign. Second, property is the creation of the sovereign, and therefore the sovereign may make laws relating to property. So he has the right to regulate the property. Then, third, civil society has been created for peace. It is the function of the sovereign to remove all hindrance to peace. Therefore, he has the power to regulate freedom of speech and expression so that peace may not be disturbed. He can suppress circulation of dangerous opinion. Fourth, the sovereign is the source of justice. Hobbes concentrates all executive, legislative, and judicial powers in the sovereign. The theories of separation of powers and checks and balances have no place in his system. Fifth, according to Thomas Hobbes, the sovereign has the right to make war and conclude peace with other sovereigns. The sovereign is the supreme commander in chief of all army forces. Supreme commander over the armed forces of the Commonwealth is absolutely necessary for the sovereign. In its absence, he cannot possibly exercise full control over the acts of the subjects. Sixth, sovereignty is indivisible according to Thomas Hobbes. There can be no two sovereigns. Authority is indivisible. Then the seventh most important power is the sovereign has the power to choose his advisors, ministers, and officers both in peace and wartime. Then the sovereign is the source of all distinction between good and bad, just and unjust, legal and illegal, moral and immoral. In other words, in the state of nature, there can be no distinction between right and wrong, just and unjust, moral and immoral, and no property rights. These distinctions first came into existence with the establishment of civil society and setting up of the sovereign authority. The ninth most important power exercised by sovereign is the sovereign can delegate such functions for the execution of his command as he may consider necessary. But he is always the supreme source of power, and he alone is the final lawgiver, the final executive, the final judge in all matters. Lastly, the minority has no right to object to the choice of the majority in the selection of the sovereign power. By becoming a part of the Commonwealth, it tacitly accepts the will of the majority. If he does not accept the authority of the Commonwealth, it can remain outside. So can justify destroyed by it. So in conclusion, we may say that Hobbes was the first to advocate the theory of sovereignty. The theory of absolute sovereignty reached perfection in his hands, though Jean Bodin had earlier put forward his conception of sovereignty. It was limited by custom and the law of good. Hobbes removed these limitations. His conception of sovereignty was later developed by John Austin. The theory of sovereignty is his greatest contribution to political thought. Thank you.